The days are getting longer and perhaps it's getting a little bit warmer. And if by any chance you're feeling hot, 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 you're just about to get a bit steamier as I open up the world of Afrobeat, courtesy of Dele Sosimi. Last time we met was when Dele hit the Blues Kitchen in Manchester with the explosive Cubafro project, and how time flies because we're now getting ready for his return in May. And after celebrating his diamond birthday in big style at Ronnie Scott's in February, with friends, we find the new king of Afrobeat busier than ever before. Mr. Sosimi, happy belated birthday and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It was Jazz Cafe, the Diamond birthday, and yes, I don't like referring to myself as king or anything. I'm just delivering the message as received. I'm a messenger. I get the inspiration. It's downloaded high speed. I gather what I can and I deliver as much as I can, but doesn't make me any special. Well, how about that?
Well, I think you're pretty special.
Oh, thank you.
I know that there's lots of people around the world who also think you're pretty special. And we are talking about this diamond anniversary, and we will stay on it shortly, just for a little while anyway, because that was actually a gift to you, wasn't it? From your friends, and let's do some name dropping, at Ronnie Scott's. So I know about it, because I saw the pictures online.
Yeah.
Lowdown. What happened? I recognized quite a few of the guys on the stage, I have to tell you.
It was a jazz cafe in Camden, but then, of course, on Sunday, there was another event on Sunday upstairs at Ronnie Scott. So whilst I celebrated it on Wednesday, the 22nd, the following Sunday, there was an event, a Funky Walla event, Funky Walla All Stars, where we also partied on, still in celebration. So yeah, it was a double whammy. Yeah, to be honest, Jazz Cafe was sold out, and I had friends coming from all over the world to come and celebrate with me, especially knowing the fact that my father, who was the head of my family, next in line after his father, who was the head of the family, who were assassinated when I was young. So he didn't even get to 40. So me attaining 60 was a big deal and still remains a big deal for celebration. Continuous celebrations within the Sosimi family. So yeah.
But how can I ignore you telling me that you lost your dad at age 40? Is that a story that you're happy to share?
Well, it's been shared. I mean, my dad was in charge of the fraud department of the biggest bank in Nigeria then. And apparently he had stumbled across something that he probably did not realize how powerful the people who had perpetuated the scandals were. And when they tried to bribe him, he refused and insisted on handing in his findings. And they prevented him from doing it by making sure they took him out. And unfortunately, his father was in the line, and both him and his father were taken out. So he died at the age of 39. And I was about 12 and a half then when it happened. So it's quite far back. But, you know, the scars and the traumas and the everything else associated to having to witness that at such a young age stayed with my siblings and I. And it's one of the reasons why most of us are not based in Nigeria at the moment. So we've all absconded, especially after mom died. Mom died. She actually stayed. She got to 60 plus before she died. So yeah. So it was a big deal. 60 is a big deal.
Wow. I can also see now why Ole and Abelay's I Knew Your Father strikes such resonance with me
It's
now.
yeah,
Because we talked about that last time, didn't we?
yeah. I knew your father well, sort of, kind of, you know. Yeah. So yes, Diamond. Thank God.
Diamond, thank God. Thank God for you. Let's get down to business, Mr. Sosimi. I talked about the fact that you had this party there, and obviously, as you just mentioned, it was a double celebration. I didn't know it was a double celebration. I didn't know you had Jazz Cafe and Ronnie Scott. All I would say is, next time, remember your friend in Manchester. I take
I will.
opportunities to come to London, especially because my daughter lives there with my two grandchildren, born in lockdown. So I don't get to see them as often as I would like, but certainly to be in the midst of you guys there that night. You've not mentioned the musicians, so I think you do need to at least give them a name drop, and then we'll move on.
Well done. I had Ola Onabule as my special guest. Then I had African Boy, and then my writing partner Femi Las, and also another of my schoolmates, Dr. Femi Okwabi, whom we, right from high school, were writing music and playing music together. They all flew in from America, and then of course a whole bunch of friends, family, old high school mates came in from all over the world, just to be there, party, and celebrate.
Philly, it sounds so special, and
It
seriously,
was, and it
huge
still is.
congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank
Right,
you.
down to business. You are probably one of the busiest musicians around. You're gigging here, gigging there, gigging everywhere. And after having just watched the film Elvis, I wonder, do you do it because performing for you is a kind of a drug, or because you have to pay those bills, so to earn money, or because you need to, because you've got so much to say, or indeed, is it kind of a bit of all of that?
It's the love of it.
Mhm.
It's for the love of it. That covers everything, because it's not about because I need to pay my bills. It's not because I'm trying to prove a point. It's for the love of it, and the creative aspect of it. There's a joy for me. The journey from creating to actualizing and then delivering and watching a reaction, um, the effects of the songs. It's like the new two. I'm sure you're aware of the latest project I'm involved in,
Yes.
Dele Sosimi and the Estuary 21, which is something we had planned to do since 2012,
Wow.
and it took us actually being in lockdown for us to actually find an opportunity to get together and lock ourselves up and say, okay, yeah, let's create. From a blank canvas, we came up with that album. Within 2 weeks, we finished the foundation, and we knew the directions we were going. So, I would say it's just for the love of it. And there's a particular track coming out very soon, for the love of it. Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to give us a bit more clue about this particular track that's coming out very soon before we get
Not
into
yet.
doing it
Not yet.
further?
Let's talk about
Okay.
Ride Out the Storm, which is
Okay.
out,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
Moshe Bolaton, which is already out. These are songs written in times when nobody had a clue what the future was gonna be. We were in lockdown. Things had ground to a halt. People were not flying anywhere. People were not allowed to, you were not supposed to be going out. You were not supposed to be mingling. Musicians were not supposed to be playing live gigs. Club fanatics were not allowed to go clubbing.
Did that somehow restrict your creativity to some extent?
Well,
The fact
of
that
course
you
it
couldn't
did.
mix, or was it all about what was coming from within and imagining of it? You know,
Well,
Nina Simone always said, didn't she? She said to be an artist, you have to write of the time that you are in. So what you're talking about there, that long period, I mean, that's a hell of a long period to go from 2012 to 2021 to bring, you know, to now to bring something to fruition.
okay, let me give you a clearer picture. This project is a result of my close relationship with Sam Duckworth of Get Cape, Wear Cape, Fly. We had a celebration in 2012, and he
Felabration.
was,
How cool
yeah,
is that?
Felabration is where we celebrate Fela's birthday in
I know, I know.
October.
Don't worry, we're going to get on to Fela in
So,
detail, my friend.
yeah, post the performances with all the other guests, the parting note between Sam and I was that, look, man, that was so cool. That was so enjoyable. That was so real. It's obvious we must do something together. We know we connect. We feel the connection that at some point in time, we got to do something together because it's going to be smashing. And who knew it would take us that long? Because we're both busy. He has his projects. He has his tours. He's writing. He's releasing albums. I have my own. I have my own plans too. I had my own commitments and all that. So in order to make time to say, okay, oh, let's put a time to where we're going to meet and make sure we meet those timings. Never occurred to both of us until we were in lockdown. So when we were in lockdown, we were, of course, lockdown afforded everybody the opportunity to reach out to those long lost accomplices, friends, family, because you're sitting at home doing whatever you can do, and then you have a lot of time on your hands, and you're like, oh, I haven't spoken to Sam in a long while. Yeah, let me give him a call. Hey, Sam, how you doing? Well, I'm just chilling. So what's up? What's new? Well, I'm in my studio. I'm just writing some music and all that. So, oh, I didn't know you had a studio. Yeah, I do have a studio, Southend on Sea. And then he switches from voice to go to camera, and then shows me around the studio, and I see that baby grand
Oh my
brown,
word.
and I'm like, oh my word, that's
Oh
where I
my
need
word.
to be right
I
now.
need to be there. Well, this is like me saying to you, I need to be on that stage with you, with all the
Mhm,
guys for your 60th birthday. It's the same kind
mhm.
of, you
And
just
then,
have
of
to
course,
be there.
he just says, so what's stopping you? I said, no, come on, Doc, are you for real? You're in Southend on Sea, I'm in Milton Keynes. Oh, how's that going to be possible? And he was like, well, the lockdown has been lifted, and we can be socially distanced anyway. So why don't you just come over? In fact, come over, spend a couple of days. Let's see what we can come up with. I said, you're kidding me, right? He was like, no, come on, Dele, I'm serious. The studio is not booked anyway. Nobody's doing sessions or anything. So we might as well just hang out. And then opportunity for us to make our earlier pact come
Oh,
true. And I was like, that's genius of you.
it's a
Okay,
gift.
yeah, let me do that. And then he said, okay, I'm going to call a few guys. Let's see who's around and then who wants to be part of it. And he called a few friends of his, trusted drummer, trusted bass player. And before you knew it, I was there.
Oh my word.
Blank canvas. They all came from wherever they were. The drummer came, the bass player came, and then we just spent 2 nights. And then those first 2 nights were magical. We were like, oh my God, we've got to do it again. So the next week, we we committed another 2 nights again, and then that was it. The foundation for the album was set, and then the rest is the story. The album is going to be out on the 7th of April, and although it's just 6 tracks for now, there are 2 other extra tracks, one of which I told you about is For the Love of It. So, yeah, really, really, doing this is not for anything other than for the love of it.
Your joy and, as you say, doing it for the love of it, not only comes through in what you say, Dele, it comes through in what you do in terms of your performance, and what happens when you go on stage, and what happens to the audience when they hear those tunes. It's almost like a physical experience. You know, when you were going on about bringing the band together, I wondered, did you do the your usual ritual over the food, sorting out the food and sitting down and eating together too? Or was it straight down to business? Let's just play music.
Oh, yes. Luckily, um, they had all these lovely Deliveroo takeaway kind of things. So we would just look into either Deliveroo or Uber Eats or one of the Just Eat or one of those apps.
Okay.
Say, yo, what should we do today? Should we do Caribbean? Oh yeah, let's do Caribbean.
Okay.
Oh no, let's do Asian. We didn't really cook because normally, if I were in my own quartier, which is a French word, is right. If I was in my own hood,
yes,
what I would have been doing I would have stocked up my larder, I'd have stocked up my fridge. So the part of the process would be to initially cook for everybody.
yes.
Then everybody eat. And then on a full belly, have your favorite tipple. It could be anything of your choice, including dried green spinach.
Okay.
And then we can kick off and say, okay, yo, let's just go. You know, that's what I would have done, but we didn't do that. We had to rely on, because those were lockdown times, so we had to rely on.
Yes, well, needs must. All right, and I love that word, Felabration. You know that's going to be my new word. You know I take and lift and steal and use, but Felabration is a fantastic word in terms of not only honoring the great man, but in terms of what it means, because it is a celebration and it is a celebration. He was the king of celebration. You know, it leads me on, and I know it sort of seems like I'm harping on this age thing, but the whole point of this Universal Music Legends podcast series, Dele, is to give props to our musicians for what they're doing, for what they did. So back in the day, for what they're doing, the exciting work that they're doing, of course, today, but also for what they're enabling, for the future. And, you know, I interviewed a celebrated award-winning poet and author called Carl Phillips a few months ago. You know, when you meet people in your life and they say things, and things that they say really strike resonance. He'd just turned 63, and he talks about being busier than ever before and life being more exciting than before, and the fact that he's taking more risks than before, and the fact that because of his age he's unable to do all these exciting things that he couldn't do before. And he said it's so exciting, and he said, and what it is, Audrey, it's life. It makes him feel alive. And I wonder if that's what it is for you. And it sounds like it is, that music is the elixir of your life.
It is similar. It's similar, quite similar, because like I was saying, if you are a messenger and you don't know that you're a messenger and you think you're the it of it all, then things will not come out the way they're supposed to come out. Because you're not, I mean, you know, there's an old adage that says, know yourself first. Love yourself first. Then you'll be able to know and you'll be able to give love. It's the same thing I apply to this. I know I am a messenger. I know I have stuff to deliver, messages to deliver. When I get the download, if I download it, if I don't use it, it festers. It becomes cancerous and it could have a negative effect. But if I download it and I use it to specifications according to downloads, i.e., I write it out, rehearse it, perform it, or record it, or whatever I do with it, the message gets out across and it comes across well packaged in a very, very, what do you call it? Digestible format. It's not too complicated and it's not too simple. But when you hear it, you feel it. And when you feel it, it makes you even hear it better. So I think those things play into what I've been able to achieve so far. And like he was saying, that the older you get, the more privileged you are to be able to take more risks. So I'm working a lot, I'm teaching, and I'm seeing enthusiasm in the younger artists, you know. And I'm leaving most of the time highly inspired again. Yeah. Each teaching session I've been in, I'm leaving and I'm thinking about, wow, what would have happened if we were exposed to such opportunities when we were growing up, as in having people like me who are oral traditionists, yes, as opposed to just having academicians teaching, where you have a mix of academicians, oral tradition people, and then genres that are actually current within society are being taught by people who are actually still active in the society, active in chosen fields of performance, etc. And you can ask no holds barred questions about every aspect of the music life. So for me, I agree, and I'm in a similar position, you know, with his summations that, yeah, living the best time of my life in this diamond era.
The best time. Happy. You're living the best time of your life. You know, happy. I love the fact that you say that you're a messenger. And also that you then immediately then went into your role as a teacher. And the really interesting thing that you're feeling inspired by what you're getting from the young people, equally as they're being inspired with what they're taking from you. And it's this fusion of, you know, taking the best of what we have, the informed view, knowledge, skills, experience, whatever, and kind of our groove and way of thinking, the whole thing. And then you mix that with, as you say, the exciting things that are coming up from the artists you work with, because it's not just musicians, incidentally, Dele. You know, you're working with writers, you're working with artists, you're working with actors. The performance part, I think, is gorgeous. That's something that I actually witnessed, privileged to witness when you played the festival in Manchester, where you actually had poets reading out their poetry over your compositions, which really, really, really touched me. And also Dele, it also validates me talking over music all the time. So there you go. But seriously, that was great, because that was again, it was kind of an organic thing, and it was a happenstance that turned into being a brilliant opportunity for both of you, and turned into something that allowed you to actually make magic together, didn't you? I think you were quite knocked out by it, weren't you?
Well, I was happy for the opportunity because it's been long overdue and there's a lot of potential, but it's all about being in the right place, being recommended by the right people, and then being sustained by some form of systematic funding in place to keep those kind of activities going. So yeah, it was a great experience, and every one of those poets benefited from that experience, and they are the better for it today.
Are you still in touch with them? Are they still knocking on your door? What do you
It,
think about this, Dele? Can I do this over this?
well, no, I've not been getting any of that, but I've been
I'm
getting
teasing you, you know.
some. Yeah, I've been getting, like, yo, hi, Jale. I see you're back in Manchester. I'm coming to watch you.
Yeah.
And I've had one or two of them come on and do a spoken word. I know PA Bites after PA Bites. I've had her coming and sitting with me, and also one of their mentors, Court Rights. Courtney, Court Rights. I've had him, because I found him incredible in the way he has been able to push, prod, pull, harass, if required, them into fruition of self-realization. Sometimes you don't know your capabilities until you're pushed, or you're harassed, or you have to have a kind of experience that just suddenly dawns on you that I got this. I've got this. This is my mission. This is my purpose. I can do this.
Yeah.
I really can.
Yeah.
Or as opposed to, oh my God, what am I going to do? I got butterflies. Oh, yikes. Oh, how do I go? And no.
Well, do you know what, Dele? Do you know what? You sitting there talking to me this afternoon with that sentence that you have just said has been exactly what's happened to me. And doing this, talking to you, is exactly what I've wanted to do for years. And I've been banging on the doors. Please let me do this program. We've got to give props to our musicians while they're alive. It's really important to hear from what they've got to say now. We need to give them props today. Don't wait till they've died and then say how great they were. And there's so many of you. And, I'm kind of saying it on a level of, my podcast series, but it's bigger than that, Dele, because what I'm trying to do clearly is spread my love and joy for the music, but also raise awareness of the brilliant work that's being done by our people all day, every day. It's kind of a promotion of excellence. And it's a promotion of excellence that, we don't take the time to do. So that's kind of what this is. It's kind of take back, stop, take 5, let's step back and let's see who this guy is, and let's see what this guy has got to say. So, that kind of, and I'm not going to call it dithering, you reach a place where you think that's it. That's it. Today is the day. And that's exactly what's happened with me. And it's interesting to hear you say that with you, because listening to your music, I don't get any sense of hesitancy. I don't get any sense of searching. The one thing that I will say about your music is you go, bang, yeah, that's Dele. That's Dele. So it's interesting that you have those same, in inverted commas, issues, realities to deal with as everybody else. And you also talked about, access, the importance of access, the importance of meeting the right person, of getting that right person to be behind you and to give you the introductions. That really, really is needed. And for that to happen, we've got to do more of this, Dele. There's got to be lots more networking. What is relevant is what's happening today, and what you're doing today, and what you're saying. And you're saying plenty. And not only in terms of your music, but with the collaborations that you're having with other people, bringing in spoken word, you do have things to say. Obviously, you know, we're in June, 22nd of June. It's the 75th anniversary of MV Windrush landing at Tilbury Docks, landing on the UK shores for the first time. It's the 75th anniversary, and rightly, there's loads of events and exhibitions and concerts and this, that, and the other taking place up and down the country. It's a massive celebration to recognise the role that Black people played and indeed are still playing in society today, which is fantastic. It is fantastic. But that then is against the backdrop of, you know, in inverted commas, the Windrush reality, because we've got a scandal. And then we've got what's going on with refugees in Rwanda. And you sort of think to yourself, we're welcome, but we're still struggling. We're still on the journey. And, you know, this is home, Dele, for you. And you talked before, you know, about the tragic loss of your dad, and then also the loss of your mum. But identity plays such an important part of who and what we are. Do you feel that this is home? And are you writing from home as home in the UK? Or are you still writing? Is it still that African beat and groove that drives the very core of who and what Dele Sosimi is?
Well, I have made the UK my home since 95 when I came, because you have to make home wherever you find yourself. Make a home for yourself. If you don't make a home for yourself, it's still okay too. But I've just made the UK my home. So I've made the relevant cornerstones of my musical development post 95 have been based on being in the UK. I've actually more or less adjusted my thinking, adjusted my ideologies, my social skills to suit the multicultural environment you have in London, which is why I have been able to be part of the Cubafro project, where it's a mixture of Kishon Khan, who's from Bangladesh.
Huge props.
Kishon Khan is one of my favorite UK piano players. Although he's from Bangladesh, but he did extensive studies on Cuban music. He went to Cuba, and he introduced me to a lot of Cuban musicians who are top-notch, who are down-to-earth, real. And we came up with the Cubafro project, you know, and then also Lokitera meets Dele Sosimi, which is Bangladesh, the mixture of Bangladeshi kind of tradition mixed with jazz, mixed with a bit of Afrobeat when they feature me.
You know, that's where that's where Any Annie comes from, isn't it?
Yeah, Annie, yes.
Love
yes.
that track. Yes.
Yeah. So in all, yeah, I've made the UK my home for now, so far. And I don't have any intentions of changing that whilst I'm still on a roll.
Does it feel like home? I know you said you've made it your home.
It may not feel at home like home, but you that's where I rise above any other. It's your call. As a person, as a human being, it's all your call to make it your home, whether against all odds, against all circumstances that may make you say, you know what, I'm leaving. No. Sometimes you just have to grab the bull by the horn. And like one of the tracks, the singles released on this latest project is called Ride Out the storm.
Absolutely. But you're doing better than riding out the storm, Dele. That ride out the storm to me suddenly sound, I mean, I know it means that you survive and you're strong, but you're not
No, it doesn't
riding
mean
it
that.
out.
It just means, no, I don't, when I say, when I write, I mean, if you look at, the world keeps spinning, it never stops, it cannot
Yes,
stop.
yes, yes.
But it seems like everything is coming to a head. What do? You're turning around, keeping your feet on the ground. There's no point in letting it get you down. Just ride out the storm. Keep your feet on the ground. Don't put your head up in the clouds, which is more or less translating my experiences and a few people in the industry or few people in different fields of work where, you know, at some point in time you hit that position where it's quite turbulent. It could be anything, but something to make you either say, you know, I'm quitting. Because challenges either put you in a state of mind where oh, you know what, I give up. I can't do this anymore.
Can't do
And then
it.
you drop it. And for example, look at relationships now. Relationships nowadays, they don't tend to last anymore because people don't have the patience to understand, get to know the ups and downs of their so-called partners. So any slight reason or opportunity to say, okay, I'm leaving, or okay, it's all over. Why isn't there the attitude that there used to be is that, okay, let me listen more, maybe I might understand more, because obviously this is a misunderstanding because I didn't understand this particular trait or this particular aspect of this person I've chosen to spend the rest of my life with. You know, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try and understand and then meet halfway, or even if it means maybe give a little more just to see if that would work, you know. But now every opportunity to, oh, okay, I give up. People start a job, they need 2 weeks. Oh, no, you know what? I can't stand my line manager. I'm out of there. Gone. Boom. You put a band together. You start the music, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I think I want to sound like someone else. Or you don't have you're not grounded enough to be able to say, I'm going to make this work. Oh, let me study. Let me understand each individual. Let me see where their strength is. Let me walk to each person's strength. You know, those kind of things. It's like, strike one, you're out. Or strike one, I'm out of here. You know, that kind of attitude. Old school attitude used to be get to know the ground you're playing on. And then once you are familiar with the grounds, you know the terrain, you know you're familiar with where the possible pitfalls are, the possible weaknesses are, then you try and prop those places with replacement strategies whereby you look left and right, all you see is teamwork. And then that teamwork sees you through the day on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a yearly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, however you look at it. But it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but you have to have that mindset already in you because, I mean, I was brought up before my father died. He had principles. I was brought up on very, very properly. So those principles and that foundation hopefully has sustained my attitude to life up till now.
You know, Dele, we'll have to do a part two. When we come back and do part two, we'll have a conversation on relationships. I hope that all of this familial advice that you are giving is kind of do as I do, not do as I say. Are you a family man, Dele?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you? Are you a family
Uh,
man?
yes, I have 6 children, 5 boys, 1 girl. Even though
Wow.
I'm divorced, but I had a long relationship with my ex-wife, and the relationship ended, or rather, the marriage ended, but we do not have any reason not to speak to each other. At least
Sharing
every
six
other
children.
every other day, we must
Yes,
have a conversation.
yes. Yes, it is important. And I love the fact also that, you talk about things taking time. And you said the key thing there, that what we need to do is listen. And you know something, Dele, again, what I'm kind of about, what I'm about doing with this podcast is about saying, take time and listen. Because actually we can take something from this. And it's, to me, it's absolutely a privilege. Every conversation I have, I learn something new. And, for that, all I can do is be eternally grateful. We've spent a lot of time, Dele, talking about the what you did, sorry, or what you do, and what you're doing in terms of enabling the people going forward. But what we haven't done is spend any time at all talking about you as a musical director for the Master. The Master. Look at you. You're ready to lie down and
My
do
juice
this
is
because we're
my
talking
juice
about
is
Fela
just
Kuti.
my
Tell
juice
me
is
about it.
yeah, of course, man. No, he was just one in a million, a legend.
You were 20 years or something, weren't you? About 20, was it about 20 years or something?
No, I started sitting in with him at the age of 15, joined the band at 16, worked with him till about I was 22, and then started Positive Folks with Femi for 9 years,
Oh,
and
right.
then came to the UK.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay. Well, that's not quite 20, but it's long enough. And you were his musical director, weren't you?
No, not really. I was one of his. You see, that's another thing. People coin things, and then before you know it, it's gone out of proportion.
Oh, right. Okay.
How can I be Fela's musical director? No,
Wow.
I was Egypt 80. I was a musical director in Egypt 80 when Fela was incarcerated. When he was arrested and jailed for foreign currency charges, we had to survive as Egypt 80. Fela Kuti started writing his own original songs because Fela had a system in place where he owned the parcel of land, or rather, he had leased a parcel of land and built a shrine on this. And we had 4 live performances on a week, 50
Wow.
weeks a year. So
What?
50 weeks a year, we were playing at the. So we had a Friday night, we had a Saturday night, we had a Sunday night, and we had a Tuesday night. So as a member of Egypt 80, you're committed to doing 50 weeks a year, 4 times a week, live performances in front of an audience. If Fela doesn't go on tour to Europe or anything like that, and not adding any private functions that he may be contracted to do. Maybe he may have to miss 2 nights at the shrine to go and do a travel on a Friday to go and play somewhere. And then it takes a whole day of Saturday to get back. So he may miss the Saturday also, and then he would then do the Sunday. But what used to happen was that when there was no international tours in the year, we did 50 weeks straight, 4 times a week, minimum 6 hours on stage. And then we'll still have to rehearse on Wednesday and Thursday, minimum 6-hour rehearsals.
Playing to full audiences all the time as well.
Yeah, and it was also not sold out, but usually full houses every night. So every night was themed. So Tuesday was ladies' night, Friday was political updates on the situation at hand in worldwide and in the shrine, and in Lagos rather. And then Saturday was when the full Egypt 80, including the dancers, have a choreographed performance. And then he also opens up the inner sanctum of the shrine, does his weekly rituals, worship rituals, and blessings for whoever is in the house. And then Sunday was family orientated. We started at 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. So people used to come with children. So, yeah. So that when he got incarcerated, it was a question of how do we survive? So I worked on reorchestrating his classics because Fela's modus operandi was that once he's released an album on vinyl, he doesn't pay. It's no longer in his live set list. So you could go to a Fela Kuti performance expecting to hear Zombie or expecting to hear a classic like What I Know Got Enemy, and he'll tell you, go and buy the record.
Or my favorite, Colonial Mentality.
Colonial Mental, go and buy the record, Aubrey. You'll be shouting, Fela, can you please play Colonial Mentality? So, go and buy the record, Audrey. I would love to, but go and buy the record. What you're going to listen to tonight, you're going to listen to where I'm at, what I'm currently writing, and what I have written, and that has not been released.
But you also have to understand that I still want to hear Colonial Mentality.
Yeah, you want to hear it live.
Yes.
But if I believe if Fela were to do any of his old classics live, it would be more painful for him.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, let me give you an example. The modus operandi is there's a live set list for like 3-4 years. Now listen, you're playing these songs 4 times a week, every month.
Okay.
Which makes it 50 weeks a year. The only time we take a break is the weekend after New Year. So if New Year's Day falls on Friday, we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then from Sunday, we then take a break. We don't play all through January because everybody's broke. They spend money on Christmas. They spend money on New Year's Eve. Next payday is the last Friday in January. So then we reopen the shrine again the last weekend in January. So we start again from, say, the 27th of January, and we do another 50 weeks all the way till the 1st of January the next year. But during that time, the more we perform the songs, the more we are perfecting it, the more he's tweaking here, the more he's tweaking there. Then it gets it to a level of performance where they come, like if you listen to Zombie, the original Zombie vinyl, if you listen to it, oh Lord, they were on fire. They played that song for so long. They did it all in one take. Oh, so it's like they played it so much, they don't even want to touch it anymore.
I get it. I do get
it. It's like, no, we've played it so much, we've regurgitated it so much, and we've attained a level of perfect delivery that it will be disrespectful to go back there. There's more download coming, which is why I say the Messenger bit. Yeah. Once you've delivered the message, it's there, it's stamped, it's etched on a vinyl. Don't worry about me not playing it live. Go and listen to the vinyl, go back down memory lane, but check me out what I'm doing now. I've got new stuff. I've been downloading, say, hear this new stuff. It will take you a while to get into it, but if you're coming to the shrine like every week and you're seeing the song evolve before your ears and you're like, wow, I heard this last week. It didn't sound this good. My God. Then you come in 6 months and they're sounding so tight. It's like, wow, I can't believe this song in January is now sounding like this in September. Whoa, I pray Fela doesn't release it yet because now he's going to say he's not going to play it, you know. So
no, I get it. I absolutely get it.
So when the Fela was locked up, we had to regroup, we had to plan. And one of the gimmicks was, let's start playing the old classics. So I just started reorchestrating the old classics. And before you knew it, the rumor went around town, oh my God, EGKT has started playing all the classics. And because normally that would have meant people would stop coming to Shrine because Fela has been jailed. And there's nothing exciting. But the fact that Femi and Dele, Femi started writing his own original material, Dele's reorchestrated all those classics from the 70s. So, oh my God, Shrine is going to be banging. EGKT are on fire. They're rehearsing vehemently. They're, and the delivery is so tight. So, of course, whilst Fela was in jail, we held on. The Shrine was okay. We were playing the same 4 times a week, rehearsing Wednesday and Thursday. So we kept things going. So that's where my musical direction came from.
I see. So what did he say? What did he say to all of this then when he got out and
I'll tell you what Femi and I did. We went to go and see him in jail. And we were at that point had been thinking, let's come to Trinity College to come and study music. And we then going to tell, oh, we've been thinking we're going to Trinity College where you studied. We're only going to study and get a degree in music. And then he looked at us and said, look, you guys, you think about it. I'm in jail. You've got Egypt 80 at your disposal. You're doing very well. From all I heard, there's nothing Trinity is going to give you that is better than what you're learning right now. Being in charge of, you know, you've got a big band. You're arranging. You're orchestrating. Femi, you're writing your own tunes. I don't think that's going to happen in Trinity. But I'm just saying, think about it. If you, this is what I'm repeating, say, if you want to do it, of course, go ahead. But just think about it. Weigh the pros and cons. This band is there, right there in front of you. I'm sitting here in jail. If you leave, you leave. You've left an opportunity that, you know, and true to form, both of us now went back and thought about it and was like, you know what, this man's right. You've got a big band. We can write. You can do anything. And we've got a following. Yeah. Trinity is not going to give you a following. Yeah. So we had an experimental ground to start writing, to start watching reactions, to start learning what works, what didn't work. And then those new reorchestrations, we started even evolving them, trying to play them in a a more youthful interpretation or some improvised interpretation that we felt was relevant to our age. You know, I want to do something like a Black Man's Cry. I want to add a little touch of Dele Sosimi's arrangement of Black Man's, you know, or I feel that I want to stick to the blueprint. This song is sacred. I don't want to change anything. I want to play it exactly as it is because it's screaming to be played as is, you know. So that was, did I digress in any way?
Not at all. What's hitting your groove at the moment?
Say it again?
What is hitting your groove at the moment? Or who?
Well, Ride Out the Storm and Moshe Bolaton from this new project called Dele Sosimi and Estuary 21. Those two tracks, I mean, they were the singles and everybody's loving it. Ride Out the Storm. And Moshe Bolaton in English means I thought it was all over, more or less.
But it most certainly is not all over. You're not only carrying on the legacy of Fela Kuti, you're sticking true to the Afrobeat, you know, but better than that, I suppose equally beautiful is the whole evolution of music and the exciting collaborations that you're doing with the young people and indeed with the Cube Afrobeat project. And once again, I have to say that I cannot wait because we have you back at the Blues Kitchen in Manchester in May. So that's I will see you face to face, and maybe you give me another. I've got away without my Afrobeat session today, Mr. Sosimi.
Good. So please tell me which tracks are you? Which out of those two new tracks, which one have you latched onto that actually tickles more than
the one that's in my groove at the moment is Ride Out the Storm. But you know what happens? You listen through to an album and your opinion changes, and it depends when you're listening to it. You know, that was this morning. Maybe if I was listening to it late at night, I'd choose something else. I'm looking forward to getting myself fully acquainted with all of it. And you know, it's so lovely, Dele, that you've taken this time to come and share your stories with us. Do you have a favorite memory of Fela Kuti? I have to ask you, do you have a favorite memory, a fondest memory? Doesn't it feel like a big long thing, or just something that happened, or a gig, or a this, or a that?
No, the favorite moments have been always at gigs. and the thick of it all, and when a song has come to its peak and everything is vibing, we're at the climactic end, all the instruments are blaring. Nobody is not doing anything on stage. I'll give you an example. For the band is big. So there are moments when the horns are not playing. There are moments when the horns are playing and the girls are not singing. And, but we've reached a moment where the girls are singing, blaring, the horns are behind the girls, interpolating with the rhythmical structure of the chorus, and Fela's on his piano, interlacing with his, I would say, his garnishing of that climatic moment. And he's looking left and he's looking, I was on his left and he's looking left and he looks to his left and he sees me vibing with him and then he winks at me. That's many a time that would happen. And there's a video clip of Glastonbury, and I think, yeah, he did wink at me during that song, and I just lost that. I was like, oh yes, he winked at me, and I was still playing that, and I was, yeah, there's a clip of me, very nice, slim, young Dele Sosimi, playing rhythm piano, because that was my role. I was rhythm pianist. But then it didn't take long before my skill set was now recognized and I became more than, that. And, yeah, thank God for that.
Well, I'm delighted that you've cleared up that musical director thing, because I think there's nothing worse, is there, than going under sort of false pretenses, and you don't need to do that at all, because who you are and what you've done and what you are doing is bigger than enough anyway. So we don't need any kind of embellishments at all. I have to ask you, last record, I think I'm on the radio. I have to ask you the last question that I'm asking of all the people on this Undisputed Music Legends podcast.
Yeah.
One song that you wish you could have written. One song.
Wow, none. I don't have any song I wish I could have written. But seriously, because I've got too much in my head I haven't even written.
Yes.
So the ones in my head that I've not had time to, and the many that have come and I've not been able to actually store it somewhere so I can come back to it later, those are the ones that I wish I but no, I've not heard a song and said, ooh, I wish I wrote that. No, it never happens to me.
All
I don't know
so
why.
Who's your music hero then? Obviously Fela, but who else?
Say it again?
Who's your music hero?
I just have too many. I listen to people like Ahmad Jamal as a piano player.
Yes.
Then I'm also into Errol Garner.
Yes.
As a total genius piano player. I listen to Bob Marley.
Yes.
For his words of wisdom. I listen so much to Fela Kuti. Then I listen to my locals from Nigeria, Haruna Ishola, who is one of the forerunners of Akpala music, which is a Yoruba style of a cappella and percussion ensemble singing.
Yes.
And then, of course, I still love my Sting. I like listening to Sting. Sting is an amazing writer. He's just, when he went and did the album that has the Englishman in New York and he used all those American musicians, I just like, now you're talking. Now you've just opened a new kind of worms for yourself. And then, of course, Annie Lennox, I listen to her, and it's just I don't latch onto anything specifically. I just love listening. There's Femi Kolio show with Ezra Collective. I check out what they do. I listen to them, but I just don't latch on and hold on to anything. I listen to enjoy what they're doing, not to critique. I'm not a critic. It's not in my nature to critique any work anybody does. I listen to it, and I appreciate it for the work of art that it is.
Well,
You
I
know,
certainly appreciate you for the work that you do, and we appreciate you for all the
well,
wonderful music that you've laid down over the years. And indeed, I'm so excited for the
thank
music
you,
that's still to come. So, Mr. Dele Sosimi,
thank you,
thank you very much indeed for joining me.
thank you, and see you in
Meet at
Manchester
the Blues
at the
Kitchen.
Blues Kitchen on the 27th, 26th of May.
That's the date. Dele Sosimi, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome, Audrey. Thank you very much for having me on. And for
Thank
those listeners out there, big shout out to you. Keep on listening. Audrey's always going to be bringing new stuff. She's got a whole list. She's done a big research, and she's going to be bringing special people. We're not. It's not just me. There's so many of us out there, and you need to hear us, and you need to celebrate us whilst we're alive. Not, I don't want a deliberation in my name. No, once I'm gone, let my soul rest, man. Don't
Exactly.
deliberate me. If you want to deliberate me, come to my gigs now whilst I'm alive. When you hear I'm part of something, just come out of curiosity, because I promise it will be a rewarding experience spiritually, emotionally, and every otherly.
Well, as I've mentioned before, it is electric, and the place just comes alive, and the vibrancy of the young people and the dance. There is nobody who isn't moving. Even me sat on my chair, I'm moving. So I can't wait, Dele. Thank you once again, and
You're welcome, Audrey.
see you in Manchester at the Blues Kitchen.
Yes, indeed, we will. Take care.
Bye-bye. So that's almost it for this time on the Undisputed Music Legends. And what a legend he was, Mr. Sosimi. Thank you so much. You are indeed, as you say, the messenger of the essential beat of Afrobeat. So thanks for sharing your story, which was a real Felabration. Told you I'd nick it, didn't I, Dele? And obviously for the importance of what you're doing today, maintaining the legacy of the real king of Afrobeat, Fela Kuti. Absolute honour. Now, on to another honour and the important bit, which is you. Thanks for listening, and please do remember to like and subscribe. Press that button for more. And don't keep it to yourself. Go run tell your friends. So until the next time, when I meet the next Undisputed Music Legend, this is Audrey Hall saying, until the next time.